Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the Drumo Show. The new and maybe improved Drumo Show, depending on your opinion. So, I want to get a couple of things out of the way from the word go. Number one, this camera quality is not going to be the camera quality that we're going to be using all the time. That is because somewhere in the process of moving, my 1080p webcam has disappeared into the ether. I do not know where it went, but I will find it. And when I do, it shall return. This video actually started out as a top 5 NES games video. But I decided to sit down and talk about NES memories instead. Now, I didn't grow up with an NES. It wasn't even the first console that was in my home as a child. But that doesn't mean that I don't have some NES memories. And my memories come mostly from emulation. And I know that a couple of you purists out there that are watching this just shocked and gasped in pure horror that I was playing on emulation. But it came at a time whenever, the first time I was in college, I have since failed 3 more times, and basically I had a laptop that couldn't even run Super Nintendo emulators. It could only run NES emulators and Game Boy. And considering that I hadn't deep dived into NES throughout my childhood, I was like, let's give it a try. So basically, I played some of the classics. I played Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Mario Bros. 3. Obviously, those are classics, even though personally I prefer the SNES All-Stars version better, but, tomato, tomato. I also played through Metroid, The Legend of Zelda 2. All of those were great games, awesome content, but I have a couple of disputes with some of what's considered the greatest games for the NES. Number one, Tetris is not the most popular, it's the most popular puzzle game, but it's not the best puzzle game on the NES on the Famicom. It's not. In my personal, humble opinion, the best puzzle game on the NES is Dr. Mario. Now, Dr. Mario is great for a number of different reasons, but there's just something about the soundtrack. There's something about the way the game plays. And of course, Tetris is a classic, and it's amazing. It's a wonderful game, and I'm not taking anything away from that. Tetris is an all-time classic for a reason, but Dr. Mario is special. It is great. It is a wonderful puzzle game. The way that you have to connect the colors, the way that there's preset objects in the way, it's amazing. It's a game that goes up with skill level, as opposed to Tetris that just gets faster as you go. Dr. Mario's skill level ramps up as you go. It's a great puzzle game. One of a kind. Mwah, magnifique. But my favorite NES game, and of course, this was coming, as I said, at a time whenever I was very first in college. So I was playing a lot of Dr. Mario. I was actually streaming Tetris on Twitch there for a while. And this game I actually did play as a little kid. Very little. Because obviously family members had NES consoles, right? So, but this game I got to play a little bit, but it's still my favorite NES game. Even on the NES Mini, I play it every chance I get. And that is Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Punch-Out! Is one of a kind. It is so special. The Punch-Out! That came before it was nothing like it. The Punch-Out! That came after it was not as good. Super Punch-Out! Is not as good as Punch-Out! It's an amazing NES game. And if I had to pick one NES game that I could point at and say this is what made the NES great, it would have to be Punch-Out! Playing as Little Mac, going up against these guys that are literally like 4 and 5 times bigger than you. You're going through all of the different boxing challenges. It's so good. Each boxer feels like a mini boss, or even a boss fight in a regular game. They each have little quirks that you have to catch on to. It's just so good. It is such a good game. And if you have never played Punch-Out!, you definitely should. 100%. Pick it up on the Wii. The Wii version is really good. Pick it up on the Virtual Console. Pick it up somewhere, because it is an amazing game that everybody should play at some point. I've since picked it up on my 3DS, and it goes with me whenever I take my 3DS places. Punch-Out is one of my favorite games of all time, but it is definitely the one that I would consider the NES game, in my mind. Of course, it's different for everybody. So, that being said, I just want to say thank you to all of you guys who stopped in and hung out with me for a little while today. I'm sorry that the video quality is not as good as it could be. That is not my fault. It is because I can't find the webcam, but it's also not my fault because the built-in webcam on this laptop that I'm using to record is pretty poopy. So, but thank you guys so much. Sincerely from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for watching and hanging out with me today. I have been Drew Mo. You guys have been great. And remember, this show could not be possible without patrons like these. If you want to help me out, go over to patreon.com/DrewMoShow. It's $5 to become a subscriber, and you could start today. Thank you, and I will see you all next time.